What's up, my good people? So, today I want to talk about bitter baby mamas and deadbeat dads, or deadbeat moms and bitter baby dads. However you coin the phrases, the reality is the children are the ones who suffer from being in those types of co-parenting situations. It's very sad. It's very sad because oftentimes we don't think of the trauma that we're causing them by ultimately our inability to be able to communicate effectively with one another, parent with one another, and for the sake of the child or children, put their best interest at heart. Because in the event that you're bitter or deadbeat for whatever reason, some way, somehow, that child is missing out. First, what's amazing to me is how a good majority of us have probably grown up in single-parent homes where, at best, if we were blessed, we had our grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, who kind of, or even people in the community, church or whatever, kind of pitched in and kind of helped out. Could have been school teachers, advisors, just whoever that really reached out, because a lot of us did grow up in single parent homes, and there was a lack. No matter how amazing that one parent was, whether it was the mother or the father or the grandparent, the reality is, in my opinion, a child needs both. The nurturer, the disciplinarian, and I feel like whenever one is left to do the job more so full time by themselves, no real help from the other parent, that ultimately there's a burden not only put on that one parent but on that child as well, because either you're gonna be too chastised too much, loved on a little bit too much, which I know we think that that's impossible to do, but there's going to be something where the one parent that's there is doing the best that they can to fill that void. So ultimately, that child still doesn't get the most healthy experience all the time, because let's be honest, that one parent is going to burn out at some point. Like, single parenthood is not for the faint at heart. It is not easy at all. Shout out to all the ones that have done it thus far. Now, let's bring in the notion of the bitter baby mama. We're going to address that first. Or the deadbeat mom. We're going to address that too. Ladies, a baby ain't kept a man for as long as we've been living, right? If this man chooses to move on with his life, let him. No one human is in no way obligated to another human. If for whatever reason the man chooses that he just doesn't want to be with you any longer, regardless to whether he wants to be with somebody else or not, especially if that man is taking care of his child and you just mad because y'all not together, that's crazy, ridiculous. Like, if you're upset because he's not doing his job as a father, meaning providing for his child physically, emotionally, and mentally, then I understand you being upset, because regardless to whether he want to be with you or not, that child should be the priority, or those children should be the priority. There should not be a reason why, whether he chooses to move on with his life or not, that he's not there taking care of those kids. It's not always about money. It's about physically being there, emotional support, physical support, financial support, spiritual support, being able to show up and be present regardless to whether y'all are together or not. The deadbeat mother, for the life of me, I can't grasp the concept of it, because I've never been in that situation, neither my mom or myself, but I just can't grasp the notion of not being present for my child, someone I gave birth to. But again, everybody's situation and circumstances is different. I'm not saying that there's any reason why a mother should not be in her child's life. I mean, I can't, like I said, grasp that notion because neither myself nor my mom was in that situation. Again, I can't speak to everyone's situation. But I would say just for me personally, and I graduated high school at 16, went straight to college at 17, got pregnant, had my daughter, finished college, got my master's, and was like, even when my mom was helping me with my daughter when I was away, with college, weekends, school breaks, holidays, I'm there, I'm getting her, she coming there, summer, whatever it was, even though I was only like a little over 2.5 hours away. For the amount of time that I was in school, I still was doing everything in my power to get back and forth to my child. That's just me. And before I move to the fellas, I'm going to be 100% honest about something. I have zero respect and tolerance for women who make the man's life hell because y'all ain't together no more and he happy elsewhere. Listen, please, ladies, if this man is supporting his child, which some of us never got child support in our life, some of us never had help other than a parent or the good Lord, and these men are paying out hundreds and thousands of dollars a month and showing up and being there, and you literally giving him the blues for no reason other than the fact that you just want to be hellacious for no reason, my girl, you wrong for that. And I'm going to just keep it real with you. You are absolutely wrong for that, because every guy that is not physically in the home is a deadbeat dad. Not everyone. Now let's move to the guys, okay? Now I know some of y'all might feel a little bitter too. You might think she trapped you. You might think she ain't who you thought she was when y'all got together. You might think she ain't parenting material, mother, like whatever. That still don't give you a reason not to be in your child's life. She wasn't the only one that made that baby. You did too. And like I said, a lot of us grew up in single parent homes, so you know what it feels like for the father not to be present. You know what it feels like to go to bed and wake up every single day, day after day after day, never once laying eyes on him, or him just sending money and that's it, never physically being there, or him just kind of showing up here and there, or only showing up when he's trying to get with your mama. But other than that, you don't really see him come around because his interest not really in you, is in the mama anyway. So the same way you didn't want your mother to feel that kind of hurt and pain, or the same way you didn't want to feel that hurt and pain, just think about that when it comes to your own child or your own children, what kind of hurt and pain they're having as a result of that. And then, not being there for your child. I really just don't understand that. And I get why some women do get frustrated, because you done moved on with your life. Now you taking care of somebody else's kids and you ain't taking care of your own. You have moved on from her because y'all wasn't going to work. So now you ain't got no interest in the kid. She not giving you what you want. So you ain't got no interest in the child because you wasn't interested in raising a child in the first place. You was only interested in getting what you can get out the mama. That's not cool, bro. Like, if she wants you to step up in those types of situations, she ain't being bitter. She's demanding that you do something. And if she ain't causing your life hell, bro, and if you ain't on papers and gotta pay child support, and if you not being held to some crazy, ridiculous contract and standard of what you need to be, bruh, just show up. Like, if you ain't got no money, I think that for some women, maybe that is the issue. But for a lot of women, they just want you to be present. They just want the child to know that you are loved by both of your parents. You might think like, I ain't got but $5, but you got 5 hours worth of time on Saturday that you can spend with him. Like, I get it. Some mothers are probably going to still make it hell for you to get to that child, but that's a part of you. And for the mothers and the fathers, you ought to be willing to move hell, heaven, and earth to get to your children, because the reality is those kids are a part of you. Like, y'all made them together. Like, that's y'all. And last but not least, people, whether you a bitter baby mama, deadbeat mama, bitter baby daddy, deadbeat daddy, or whatever you want to call it, however you call it, stop putting these kids in the middle of y'all drama and y'all mess. He don't need to be I spying on what daddy got going on. She don't need to be digging through her mama's. Like, y'all, that's too much. That's going way too far. It's not that serious. The bottom line is the child is the most important. The children are the most important. You do not know how pitting one against the other is the psychological, emotional, mental stress and strain and trauma that is causing the children to have to grow up and then try to figure out why they own relationships in life aren't working, why they don't know how to express themselves, why they don't know what healthy love looks like. Because you can have a healthy love and not be with somebody. At the end of the day, y'all, like, we gotta do it. Like, trust me, I get it. Trust me, I understand. Trust me. And listen, if the opposite person is disrespectful, I understand that aspect too. Maybe you have to cut the ties, maybe. But that does not mean that the child can't still have a relationship with their parent. Just because y'all don't talk, if y'all can't get it together and figure out, you don't have to badmouth one to the other. You don't have to kind of dog them to another. Now, when that child get old, trust me, it is what it is. When that child gets older, they gonna figure it out. And when that child gets older, it's gonna come out. They gonna understand what it is. You know what I'm saying? But for the meantime and in between time, while you have a little bit control over it, try to do to the best of your knowledge what's right.